There are two ways in which blue oceans can be created. One way to create a blue ocean is when companies give rise to a completely new industry which was not in existence in the business universe before. An example of this way of creating a blue ocean is eBay. eBay was the first company who started the online auction industry, which did not exist before eBay started it. Another way to create a blue ocean is when companies create a blue ocean from within a red ocean. This is the easier and popular way in which blue oceans are created by most companies. Using this method, a company can create a blue ocean by changing or altering the boundaries, definitions, offerings, customers, and market space limits of an existing industry. Steps to create a blue ocean strategy. The following are the 4 steps that you need to follow to create a blue ocean strategy. They are: Step 1, create uncontested market space. Step 2, focus on the big picture. Step 3, reach beyond existing demand. Step 4, focus on getting the strategic sequence right. Let's look at each one of these in detail. Step 1, create uncontested market space. The first step towards creating a blue ocean strategy is to create an uncontested market space. The best way to create an uncontested market space is through reconstructing and restructuring the market boundaries. So, in order to reconstruct and restructure the market boundaries, it's crucial that you should know what is going on in the market and what kind of competition exists in the market. After carefully studying the market, you should then reconstruct a market boundary which is greatly different and varies from the rest of the market. Step 2, focus on the big picture. The second step towards creating a blue ocean strategy is to focus on the big picture. Hence, in order to focus on the big picture, you should always keep in mind that while formulating the strategies, you would be faced with a large amount of data analysis and numbers. However, you should always focus on your strategy and make sure that the actual strategy is not lost in the midst of large chunks of data and numbers. To keep a track of the strategy and not lose your focus, you should always focus on the following: understand the needs of the customer and what the customer wants. Understand what the current market scenarios has. Understand what opportunities exist or can be created which the current market is not providing for. Do not try to put exact numbers on the size of a blue ocean. Understand that you should focus on formulating a strategy that will be successful. Step 3, reach beyond existing demand. The third step towards creating a blue ocean strategy is to reach beyond the existing demand. In order to target customers which are from beyond the existing demand, you should focus on finding potential future customers who are presently non-customers. Hence, these non-customers are those who are not currently purchasing from the market, for one reason or another, should become your target customer group. It's crucial that in order to turn such non-customers into customers, you should understand and find out the reason due to which they are not purchasing from the current market, and hence understanding what is keeping potential customers out of the market. Therefore, when you understand the reason for their being out of the current market, you can then find a solution that will work for such non-customers and turn them into customers. So, when you are able to target this new demand beyond the existing demand, you are the sole provider of products and services to satiate this newly created demand. This is what will lead to the really large growth potential of your company. Step 4, focus on getting the strategic sequence right. The fourth step towards creating a blue ocean strategy is to get the strategic sequence right. In order to get the strategic sequence right, it's crucial that you go through the following 4 steps in the right sequence, one after the other, to make sure that the strategy is valid. Step 1, review the buyer utility map. Step 2, review the price. Step 3, review the cost. And Step 4, review the adoption. Let's look at each one of these in detail. Step 1, review the buyer utility map. For this step, it's suggested that you should first of all create a buyer utility map. After creating a buyer utility map, you should then carefully review it. During the review process, you should ensure that the proposed product or service has good usefulness or utility at every step of the buying process, such as purchase, delivery, use, supplements, maintenance and disposal, etc. Step 2. Review the price. After reviewing the buyer utility map, you should then review the price of your proposed product or service. During this step, you should carefully examine and determine whether the price you have decided for your proposed product or service would provide a good value to the buyer as compared to the features and characteristics of the product or service. Step 3. Review the cost. After reviewing the price of your proposed product or service, you should then review the cost of your proposed product or service. During this step, you should carefully examine and determine the cost of producing the product or offering the service. You should also determine whether the cost of producing the product or offering the service is feasible enough so that you can sell it at a higher price and be able to generate good profits. Step 4. Review the adoption. After reviewing the cost of your proposed product or service, you should then review the adoption or acceptance level of the proposed product or service by various elements interacting with your business. Some of the elements that will interact with your business are retailers, partners, and customers, etc. Therefore, it's crucial that in this step you should carefully examine and determine about how acceptable your proposed product or service is to the various elements such as retailers, partners, and customers, etc. Also, if you foresee any kind of acceptance or adoption hurdles from any of these elements, then you should determine the measures that you need to adopt to overcome such hurdles. Let's now look at a real-life example to understand how to create a blue ocean. Guy Laliberte was at one time a stilt walker, an accordion player, and a fire eater. Guy Laliberte and a group of street performers founded a company named Cirque du Soleil in 1984. Cirque du Soleil is a unique and reinvented form of the olden days traditional circus. Guy Laliberte became the CEO of Cirque du Soleil, one of Canada's largest cultural show companies. Ever since its inception, Cirque du Soleil has staged dozens of productions which have been viewed by more than 40 million people from more than 90 cities around the world. In fact, the speed with which Cirque du Soleil attained success is so fast that its earned revenue in 20 years is equal to the revenues earned in more than a century by Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, the world's leading circus. So, let's now understand what made Cirque du Soleil so successful. You should understand that in present modern-day times, the olden days traditional circus business is at a great decline. This is due to the fact that there are many new and modern forms of entertainment available to children and people. This includes entertainment through sporting events, TV, internet, video games, etc. The modern-day children who form the core audience group of any circus prefer playing video games than visiting a circus. This preference of playing video games over visiting the circus is also reinforced by their parents, who don't have the time to take the children out. Moreover, adding to the dwindling number of audiences is the challenge that circuses face from various animal rights groups, who put up a strong resistance against the use of animals, which is an integral part of the traditional circus. In fact, even the leading circuses of the world, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, face the challenge of increasing operating costs due to the demand of star performers of being paid on their terms. You can understand that due to all such problems, the circus industry was hit and suffered badly due to the steadily decreasing audiences, increasing operating costs, and resistance from the animal activist groups, etc. Now, when Guy Laliberte thought of opening a circus, he knew he had all of these challenges in front of him, apart from one bigger challenge. He knew that if he started a traditional circus, he would face cutthroat competition from the great players who were already established for almost a century and had set the industry standards. Guy Laliberte created a blue ocean within this red ocean, which helped his company, Cirque du Soleil, to prosper and be successful in such an unfavorable environment. So, how did Guy Laliberte create a blue ocean? You can understand how Guy Laliberte created a blue ocean by looking at his company's tagline, "We reinvent the circus." That is exactly what Guy Laliberte did to create the blue ocean for his company, Cirque du Soleil. He reinvented the circus and created the blue ocean through the following. He broke through the traditional boundary that separates circus and theater and merged them to create a new and profitable blue ocean from within the red ocean of the traditional circus industry. Cirque du Soleil did not compete with the existing players of the circus industry. Cirque du Soleil also did not compete within the confines of the existing industry. It created its own uncontested market space that made the competition irrelevant. It targeted on who were traditionally non-customers of the circus, such as adults and corporate clients who had turned to theater, opera, or ballet. It then focused on these non-customers and turned them to create a whole new group of customers who were willing to pay several times more than the price of a conventional circus ticket for an unmatched entertainment experience. Therefore, you can understand how creating a blue ocean for the new company was the defining factor that made Cirque du Soleil a great success rather than a failure.